Hello, my friends, and welcome to another Hatbox Day. A really special one for you today. I hope you like it. So first we're going to need the Hatbox. Have you got the Hatbox? Did you bring it? No? Happily, I did. So here's our Hatbox. It's really a wonderful old Hatbox. Yeah, not as old as my olden one that I have at school. But this one's pretty good. Do you want to see if there's anything inside it? You hear something? You do? Yeah, me too. Shall we open it? Did you say? I think I hear you. Please open the Hatbox and show us what's inside. That's what I thought. Okay, let's open it up. This is a real surprise. There's no bag. A Hatbox without a bag? That's unheard of. What are you doing in here? What do you? Come and say hi to the children. Yes. Well, that's quite a place for you to be. What were you doing in there? You want to what? You want to help me? You want to help me with a story? Oh, you're gonna wag your tail? Okay, there's a little waggy tail. So what story? Oh, about you. He wants a story about him. Then I should do a proper introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, I would love to introduce our dear friend, Balto. Hi, Balto. Hello. So, actually, this is a true story. This is a puppet, aren't you? You're a little puppet. But this is a true story about a real dog that lived long ago in Nome, Alaska. It's a really true story, right? Yeah. Would you like to listen while I tell the children the story? While I read to them? You would? You want to sit right there? Okay. You just sit right there. And I will share this book. It's called The Bravest Dog Ever. Bravest dog ever is a dog named Balto. You want to find out about his story? Sure, me too. So, this story, it's true, but it's also written, the truth is written by Natalie Standiford. Let's say thank you to Natalie Standiford for telling us this story that's absolutely true. And in this book, the illustrator is named Donald Cook. So what I'd like to do is read the words to you and then show you the pictures that Donald Cook drew to illustrate this story. Okay, so let's do it that way. This is a true story about a very brave dog. Yeah, you're very brave. Yeah. His name is Balto. The year was 1925. So 1925 is before you were born, before all your brothers and sisters, if you have brothers and sisters, before they were born, before your mother and father were born, before their parents were born, and even before their grandparents were born. Maybe. It depends on your family and how old your parents are. So Balto, this dog Balto, lived in Nome, Alaska. Nome was a frontier town. Do you know what that means? So it's a town where there wasn't a lot of stuff, a lot of prepared stuff, a lot of man-made stuff. It was more nature, a lot of nature in this town, okay? So Nome was a frontier town that was mostly buried under ice and snow. Well, in Alaska, there's a lot of ice and snow. Would you like to see a picture that was drawn of Balto? Yeah, look, there he is. He's a sweet dog, isn't he? Here's a puppet called Balto, and here's a drawing. Remember, Donald Cook drew the pictures? And there's the town, just houses with a lot of snow. Yep. In winter, there was no way to travel through all that ice and snow. Not in airplanes, not on trains, boats, or cars. There was only one way to travel in Nome, Alaska, and that was by dog sled. I'll show you a picture in just a second. Balto was a sled dog. He worked for a gold mining company not far from Nome. He helped carry foods and tools to the miners. It was a good life for a sled dog. Shall I show you the pictures? Yes. This man's name is Gunner. He's going to be introduced in a moment. But that's Gunner, and these are the dogs that pulled this sled. And who's that? Yeah, that's Balto. Balto's driver was named Gunner. Gunner made Balto his lead dog. The lead dog runs in front of the team. He follows the trail. So, let me see. All the other dogs do whatever the lead dog does. So the lead dog has to be the smartest and strongest dog of all. Are you smart? Yep. Are you strong? Yep. So see, there's Gunner, there's the sled, and these are all the dogs that are doing just what Balto does. One cold winter day, a terrible thing happened. 2 children got very sick, and their parents called the doctor, of course. He was the only doctor in the whole town, just one doctor. That's how little the town was. See, the children are in their beds. They're quite sick. So their parents call the doctor. When the doctor saw the children, he was very worried. The children had a terrible sickness. It was called diphtheria. Can you say that word? Diphtheria. The doctor did not have the medicine he needed, and without the medicine, the children would die. Without the medicine, many other people in Nome, Alaska would get diphtheria, and they would die too. The doctor knew he had to get the medicine, and he had to get it fast. See the doctor? He's figuring out. He knows exactly the medicine he needs, but he can't get it. Let's see. The hospital in Anchorage, Alaska, had the medicine, but Anchorage was 800 miles away. Do you think that's far? Very far. The doctors in Anchorage put the medicine on a train, but soon the train got stuck in the deep snow. The train was still 700 miles away from Nome, Alaska. Stuck in the snow, see? The people in Nome had a meeting. Everyone was scared. What are we going to do? Asked the doctor. We've got to get that medicine. At last someone said, what about a dog sled relay? When one team of dogs gets tired, a new team will be ready to take over. The room buzzed with excitement. That did seem like the quickest way to get the medicine. But the doctor frowned. It will still take about 14 days. 15 days. That's too long, the doctor said. Here they are having their meeting. Maybe the doctor was right, but there was no other choice. So the mayor spoke over the radio. Help, please help, said the mayor. We need the best drivers and the best dogs to help save our town. Gunner heard the mayor talking on the radio. Gunner knew that he had the best dog and the best dog team, but the very best lead dog. Balto would come to the rescue. Will you come to the rescue? You will? Okay. Here's Gunner listening to the radio. That's an old-timey radio. And there's Balto in the kitchen with Gunner listening to the mayor. Look how, this is a map of Alaska. It's so big. And this, all the way here, this is Anchorage, Alaska. And this is 800 miles, all the way to Nome. See how far that is? Yeah. On January 27th, 1925, the race to Nome began. 21 dog teams were in the relay. Each time, each team waited at a different stop. So these are all the stops. They would go this far and a new dog sled would come. And a new driver, a new dog sled, new driver, a new dog sled, till they got all the way to Nome. That was the plan. The first driver took the medicine from the train. He wrapped it in fur to keep it from freezing. Then he drove his dogs as fast as he could to the second stop. He made his run in good time. But soon the wind began to blow hard and the air grew colder. A blizzard was coming. It was the worst of snowstorms ever. Still, the race went on, and somehow each dog team made it to the next stop. So here's the first relay team. See, he wrapped the medicine in fur to keep it warm. And they went, but then it started getting really a blizzard. A lot of snow was coming down. It was getting colder and colder and colder. In one team, 2 dogs. I'm sorry, prepare your heart. It's bad news. In one of the teams, 2 dogs died. They froze in the freezing cold. So the driver hitched himself to the sled. He helped the rest of his dogs pull through the storm. Look, he becomes one of the dogs to pull the sled to get the medicine to Nome, to save the children and the town. Gunner and Balto waited at their stop in Bluff. They were going to run 31 miles from Bluff to Point Safety. That was almost the last point of the race. That was second to last. But the storm had slowed things down, and Gunner had been waiting for 2 whole days. Gunner did not sleep. He wanted to be ready to go the moment the medicine arrived. There he is with Balto. They're waiting and waiting for the medicine. At last, Gunner heard dogs barking. The medicine was here. He put it on his sled, and with a small stove and a little bit of food, and he hitched up his dogs. Who was in the front? Who was standing in the front of all the dogs? The lead dog, Balto. That's right. Gunner cracked his whip. Mush, he cried. That meant go. The team ran out into the snowy night. Here's the sled, and there's Gunner. He doesn't really touch the dogs with the whip. He makes a whippy sound, a crack with the whip, and the dogs go, oh, that means go, and they run as fast as they can. At first, the team made very good time, but soon the snow drifts. That's where the snow piles up and makes kind of like a wave. The dogs sank up to their necks in snow. They couldn't move, and they soon began to panic, but not Balto. He stayed calm. That helped the other dogs while Gunner dug them out of the snow, and at last the team was on their way again. So here the dogs are. They're stuck in the snow. The snow got so high, it came all the way up their backs. It came all the way up to here on their backs. The snow covered them, so only their heads were peeking out. So Gunner had to dig them out of the snow. Thank goodness Balto stayed calm to help all the dogs be calm. Then the team crossed a frozen river. The dogs and the sled slipped and skidded on the ice. Oh no, over went the sled. Gunner got it up again, but the medicine was gone. Wildly, Gunner dug for the medicine. He couldn't see it through the heavy snow, but at last he felt the package. He put it back on the sled. Look, it fell over. He dug and dug and dug until he found it. Gunner's good, right? He's a good man. He really wants to save the town like Balto does. The team kept going across the river, but suddenly Balto stopped short. Mush, Balto, mush, said Gunner. But Balto would not move. Then Gunner saw why. The ice was cracking. If the team fell into the river, they would all drown. But Balto wouldn't go into the cracked ice. Yay, Balto, yay, you did great. Balto had stopped just in time. Smart dog, said Gunner. Then he saw Balto's feet were wet. His little paw was wet. If they froze, Balto would never walk again. Quickly, Gunnar unhitched Balto from the sled. He led the dog to a patch of powdery snow. Gunnar rubbed Balto's paws in the dry powder snow, and soon they were dry. Balto was ready to go once more. See, Gunnar's helping him get the frozen part off of his paws. Yeah. You think Gunnar loves Balto? Yeah, I think so. You think Balto loves Gunnar? Yeah. Balto led the team around the cracking ice, and at last they reached the solid land again. Were they still on the trail? Gunnar had no idea. The snow blew so hard, Gunnar could not see his own hands in front of his face. But Balto had run this trail before, many times, and now it was entirely up to Balto. I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. Sure you can, Balto. Look at that snow, you guys. Wow. That's a blizzard. Oh. Finally, the storm died down. Gunnar saw Point Safety just ahead. Balto did it, thought Gunnar. He couldn't wait to get his warm hands by a cozy fire. But all the lights were out at Point Safety. Was the next driver there? Was he ready? Gunnar did not know, and there was no time to find out. So Gunnar and Balto did not even stop. They'd never been so tired, but they raced on through the night towards Nome. Look, no one's awake. No one's awake in the town. You know how long it would take them to wake up all the people in the town and find the driver and hitch up the dogs? Too long, right? They've got to get that medicine right now. It was just before dawn. The sky began to glow in the town of Nome, Alaska, where everyone was sleeping. Gunnar and his team pulled into town. They had made it. Balto was too tired to even bark. They had been on the trail for 20 straight hours. They had driven 53 miles. So let's talk about this for a minute. 20 hours. That's like from this moment until this time tomorrow, minus 4 hours. So that's like if it's lunchtime for you now, it would have been like breakfast time. Or if it's dinner time for you now, it would have been around lunchtime. All through the night, almost a complete day. 20 hours out of 24 hours. One entire day. Look at them. They can hardly lift their heads. They can't bark. They're so tired, probably hungry, and so cold. Gunnar took the medicine to the doctor. The doctor was surprised. He thought it would take 15 days to get the medicine, but Gunnar delivered it after only 5.5 days. Thank you, Gunnar, said the doctor. You are a hero. No, said Gunnar. Balto is the hero. I could never have done it without Balto. He's giving the medicine to the doctor. Oh, Balto. My, oh my. The doctor went right to work. He gave the medicine to all the sick people. In a few days, they would all be well. The town of Nome was saved. Even the first 2 children who were sick, they were saved. And then other people did get sick, but then they were saved because the medicine came in time to save them. All over America, people cheered for Balto. Sorry, excuse me. They read about his bravery in the newspaper. Balto was the most famous dog in the world. Look, he's in the newspaper, he's on the radio. Everybody's saying, thank you, Balto. Nome is saved. Sled dog braves a blizzard, delivers diphtheria medicine in Nome, Alaska. A year later, the people in New York City put up a statue of Balto. It still stands in Central Park. Lots of children play on the statue. They remember Balto, the bravest dog ever. There's the statue with children playing on it. Have you ever been to New York City? Did you ever go to Central Park? Well, in Central Park, if you go there, you can find Balto. the statue. And you can climb up on it if your parents say it's okay. I did. It's pretty cool. That was a very good experience. So we would like to say thank you to Balto for being such a really brave dog and strong dog and kind, to work so hard you couldn't even bark. That's hard. And you did great, Balto. You guys want to kiss Balto? Did you kiss his little snout? Thanks, my friends. It's so fun to tell stories with you. Have a great day. I adore you. Bye-bye.